Hello everyone, I'm coming to you to bring you my Technique Tuesday technique, and today it's called Tye Dye Resist. This is the card that we're going to be making, and as you know, on my Stamp Crazy VIP page in the file section after the technique I put in these PDF directions which tells you how to do the technique, what you need, the directions, what I used for the card, and then how I put the card together. So these are in the files every Tuesday after I do the technique. They're yours for free. That's just a way for me hoping that you'll go ahead and do our technique. I hope that you guys enjoy this. We're going to get started right now. What this is the tie-dye technique. You need to use 2 pieces of glossy cardstock to do this technique, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did. We're going to do our stamping first of the birds, which I used the Free as a Bird set from Stampin Up, as I am an independent demonstrator from Stampin Up. Forgot to introduce myself. My name is Rita Holmes. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be able to help you. I've already got my paper in place, so I'm going to stamp. And I'm not a stays-on type person, so I do use Memento ink, and it does work. You just have to dry it. So anyway, I'm going to ink up my stamp. I am going to press down, stamp it, and I always give this to stamp it twice just because I like a nice black image with that tie-dye. So there we go with our image. So let me get that off of there real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and put my paper towel down here. I'm not going to take time to clean that stamp, but I don't want it all over my stamp apparatus. So let's move that out of the way. Cover up this black ink because I'm notorious for putting my hands in it. So now I'm going to dry this real quick with my heat gun. It doesn't take long. You just want to kind of heat it till you don't see the shininess of the ink. And you don't want to hold this in any one spot. You don't want to burn your glossy paper. Not a good thing. Okay, we'll see how well we have that. I've got a piece of scrap paper here. I'm going to put that in between my scrap paper. What I like to do is I just turn it upside down, rub it. And that will get off any of the extra ink that might have been laying on there that wasn't dry yet. Now it looks really dry. So here we're going to do our technique. What we do with that, we have 2 images. We're going to do 2 at the same time. We're going to take a piece of wax paper and we're going to fold it. We're going to quarter fold it. And we're going to keep doing this until we get it to where it's not big at all. Just keep folding and folding and folding. And I think I can go one more time. And I think that's going to be it. Then I'm going to unfold all of that. And then I'm just going to take it and I'm going to crumble it up. You can twist it, you can crumble, you can do all of the above, but you want to get a lot of lines in there. Okay? So here's what I have. It's not as crumbly as sometimes I get it, but looks good, looks good. It's going to make a good design. So now what I'm going to do is just hold on one second. I want to bring a piece of, actually, I'm going to bring a big old piece of wood up here because I don't want to burn my mat that's underneath this. I'm going to bring my iron over because we do have to iron. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to put my piece of wax paper in between these two stamps, just like that. I'm going to take my copy paper and just put over that, and I'm going to iron that for a few seconds, not real long. So I won't be doing this real long. Let's see how it took. Hopefully we're good. And we are fantastic. So we will move on to the next part as soon as I get all of this off of my table. Usually I set up in two areas, but with having to videotape, I was stuck in one place. So, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to make our tie-dye set. And I have chosen the colors Bermuda Bay and Flirty Flamingo. So I'm going to take the Flirty Flamingo first. And you just take your ink pad and a sponge. And you just want to start inking and rubbing this around your image. Now you don't have to stamp an image. You could actually leave that, you know, just make your background paper, maybe stamp a saying. I like to flip my paper a lot, as you see too. I'm sorry. But you're just going to stamp this for as dark as you like it. I kind of pat it to get some dark variation in there. You can color this just any way you want, but you want to make sure that you've kind of got that. If you can see the design in the paper now. Now I'm going to take the Bermuda Bay and I'm just going to rub this in. Until I can get that design to show. I'll show you some card samples as soon as we get done of some other colors that I did. The lighter the color, the harder it is to do. You don't get it done as well. So anyway, so that's that one. And we will do the next one. I'm going to start with the Bermuda Bay this time. And I'm going to go to the inside of this card. And then we'll take the Flirty Flamingo and do the outside. And I'm just showing you two variations as we're doing it, since when you do this card you're always going to end up making two cards anyway. And I'm just going to rub it into the top here. Just give it a little bit of different color up there when you mix the two. There we go, and there's that one. Okay, we have that done. It dries pretty fast. There again, we're using dye-based inks on the glossy paper, so your best bet is to take, if you're going to work with it right away, and just kind of dry it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to assemble our cards. One that's got the Bermuda Bay on the outside, I'm going to put the Fleur de Flamingo, and I'm going to do the opposite on this card. Kind of helps brighten them up a little bit. So let's go ahead and add those to our background. All the dimensions for what I've cut the papers and stuff will be on my, is on the direction sheet, which will be in the files in my Facebook page called Stamp Crazy VIP. And that way you'll have, these are standard size mats though. The color cardstock's 5 1/4 by 4. The glossy is 5 by 3 3/4. And my lid wants to roll away. So I'm just going to mount both of these. And then what I'm going to do, I've got 2 white card bases, and it's just our Whisper white cardstock. Let's put my grubby old hand on that. Nasty, nasty. I'm going to fold it over. I don't use a bone folder. I use a Pampered Chef scraper. That's what I like to use to do my cards with. So we are going to mount this on our card bases. I love using the Tombow glue. It gives me a little wiggle room to make sure I kind of get my image on straight. There we go. Now I'm going to fold this card. I'm going to do the same that I just did there. And then we're going to finish this off with a sentiment and some embellishments. So there we go with that. Now what I'm going to do is I have 2 pieces of ribbon here. I'm going to take my Copic my Stampin' Blends markers, Copic. I was thinking about them earlier today. My Stampin' Blends markers, and I'm going to color this metallic edge ribbon. Now you don't have to worry about if you get on your metallic edge or not, because it will not cover it. And I just use short strokes, because when it dries it all looks really nice. So here's the, I think, let me see if I used the light or the dark. I don't remember. This is the light Bermuda Bay that I used here. And then I'm going to do one in the dark Fleur de Flamingo. And as you can see, just, I don't try to swipe it down in one area. For one thing, it's just hard to hold on to do that. And so therefore, there's my colored ribbons. Such a great way to color ribbons with the Stampin' Blends. It works very, very well. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lose my ribbon. Make sure I've got that glued down really good. Make sure everything's good on it, on both of them. I'm going to take and I'm going to glue this little tag And I punched my tag out, well, with the die cut. It's actually from the Ornate, oh, what is it called? Ornate tags or something like that. It was in the Christmas catalog and then carried over. I'm sorry, I had it sitting out here and I've moved everything. But anyway, I'm making both of my cards the exact same, just different ribbons. I'm going to go ahead and tie my ribbon. And you know, when you're tying ribbon, you just kind of have to work them down till you get your bow looking exactly like you want it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of glue dots. I usually use 2. And I'm going to stick my ribbon down and trim my little ends. And then I'd like to have some little jewels on it. Use my pick tool, which I love. And you just pick up your little rhinestones with your tools. Lay a few down here and there. And voila, we have a finished card right there, ladies. Now I'm going to do this one real quick. As you can see, they go very, very fast. I almost cut my ribbon too short. You see that? That's what happens when you hurry up to do stuff. I absolutely love coloring these ribbons. They are so beautiful. Anyway, you want to go ahead, put that down. Trim your ribbons again. I don't like to trim my ribbons till I get them on, because I always tend to trim one side longer than the other. I'm so good for that. My tag's just a little bit crooked, but I think I'm a little late to change that. So anyway, I'll go back over here. So there we go. That is our 2 cards. Again, this is called Tye Dye Resist. Easy technique to do, and it's so much fun because everything tends to look a little different. I'm going to show you the cards I told you about. Here's Daffodil Delight and Pool Party. Done. Here's another one with Bermuda Bay and Flirty Flamingo. This is done with Gorgeous Grape and Mambo Melon Mambo, whichever. And this is just all the Gorgeous Grape, and then here's Gorgeous Grape and that. And as you can see, I colored in these that I colored in. I just took the daubers with a little bit of ink and just daubed on there for color. So you can also do that too. There's just so many variations of this you can do once you get your backgrounds, like just stamping straight on there and bold stamps. I really like doing this technique this way. This is like one of my favorites. So anyway, this is our techniques and stuff, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you for another Technique Tuesday next Tuesday. Thank you.